What's going on, and welcome to Joe's Geek Show, the video series where we talk comics and Tales from the Dark Multiverse, The Death of Superman, issue number 1. Written by Jeff Loveness, with art by Brad Walker, Norm Rapmund, and Drew Hennessy, colors by John Calise, and letters by Clayton Cowles. And this issue begins with Tempest Fugonaut once again telling the reader about the Dark Multiverse and, like Nightfall, giving us the quick version of the death of Superman. We then see Lois Lane holding Superman's body and is distraught as she develops the thought that humanity never deserved Superman, bothered by the fact that she can't actually attend the funeral of her fiancé, wondering where these other heroes were when Superman needed help, watching Lex Luthor give a speech about the loss, having to visit Martha while Jonathan is in a coma. Finally, she takes the tattered cape of Superman to the Fortress of Solitude, where she is blinded by the light of the Eradicator, who admitted to his failure to save Kal-El, and the power of the Eradicator needs to go somewhere. Despite being told she wouldn't survive the transfer, Lois gains the power and flies from the fortress wearing now a black suit, the bloody S, and Superman's tattered cape. With these powers, Lois begins to use them to save people, but with each action becomes more and more extreme, now wondering why Superman didn't do more than he did, even considering that in his eyes, they may not have been worth it. This all leads back to Lex Luthor, who tells her he's untouchable in a court of law, and in her anger, she deals out a final solution by flying Lex high into the sky until he bursts into flames. She then begins to go after other villains, such as in Gotham City, as we see the Joker on the run, running into Lois, who uses her heat vision to kill the Joker. Batman comes across this and tries to talk sense into Lois, but she doesn't want to hear it, perpetuating how he failed Clark and how Clark also pitied Bruce, wishing he would just stop being Batman. Batman tells her he doesn't stop, and she agrees, before killing the Dark Knight in the same manner as the Joker. The story then leads to a rendition of The Return of Superman, with Superboy, Steel, and Cyborg Superman making appearances. When confronted by Cyborg Superman, Lois sees right through the charade immediately, which starts the battle, one in which Steel and Superboy partake in to try and help Lois. However, Superboy receives a blast to the face, and Steel is crushed within his suit. During the battle, the true Superman makes a return and wonders why everyone is afraid of Lois, in which Lois is quickly resentful. In this moment, Cyborg Superman blasts a kryptonite ray, hitting Superman and then immediately getting hit by Lois, ending his life. Lois goes to Clark and now has to hold him for a second time, only this time he dies disappointed in Lois. The issue wraps up with Lois now being seen through the eyes of Tempest, as he monologues about not knowing why there is darkness, and that we need to cherish the light, bringing this issue to a close. And I did think that the story was overly entertaining. I really liked the idea of a grief-stricken Lois gaining the powers of the Eradicator, aka a type of Superman, and going off the deep end. It's also nice to see a world in the Dark Multiverse where Batman doesn't go utterly insane, because I was starting to wonder if there was at least one world within the Dark Multiverse where Batman didn't turn into some evil mirror image of another Justice League member or himself. So, I mean, that was really nice to see. But I will say, I thought the book was actually going to be going in a different direction initially, because as we read through Lois's dialogue, that she starts out very sad over the loss of Clark, thinking that nobody really deserved him, the Earth didn't deserve him, and all that he did for humanity. But then after she gets the powers of the Eradicator and starts doing things herself, and she gets more extreme, we see that the dialogue's kind of starting to change, in that she begins to wonder, why didn't he do more? He really did have to ignore people from time to time, and she wonders how he even did that. And so I thought the idea that they were starting to jump off with was that Lois was going to end up believing herself to be the superior superhuman, making all of those calls and doing all those things that Superman said he would never do, which is interfere in another country's war within government. All things that we saw Lois do by stopping war taking away people's guns, going to the gun factories, getting rid of those, politicians who were involved in it, which all led back to Lex Luthor, who then became her first kill. And so I was beginning to believe that when we hit the return of Superman portion of the story, that the minute Superman did indeed come back, she was actually going to be resentful towards him, in which she does battle with the weakened Superman, and she's the one that ends up killing him. Which is why the minute that he came back and she was reminded of how good he is, and just made her instantly resentful for all the things that she did, I was taken aback a little bit because, to me at least, I thought that story was presenting something else. So whereas I didn't quite like it as much as the previous Batman Nightfall, I still think it was a very fun read. It was cool watching Lois parade around with Superman's powers, and it does continue to get me to look forward to the next Tales from the Dark Multiverse, the next one being Blackest Night. And I'm going to say that Tales from the Dark Multiverse, The Death of Superman, issue number 1, gets the cool silver medal. So Tales from the Dark Multiverse, The Death of Superman, issue number 1, have you read this book? I would love to hear your thoughts. Please leave your comments in the comment section below, and if you like this video, I'd love it if you'd smash that like button, share it with some friends, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and ring that notification bell for more comic book content. And if you're wondering what to watch next, consider one of these 2 videos. Alright, take care, have a great day, and as always, stay geeky.